to That Wrestling Podcast.
Welcome to That Wrestling Podcast. The good bad guys of wrestling podcasts are back talking all things of the week that was in professional wrestling. I'm Brian, Jason, Joe, Kevin, the gang is all here. Fellas, it is draft season. Literally right now, as we record, the NFL draft is going on. It's Mel Kiper Jr.'s one day of the year to shine. And while we won't have Mel Kiper Jr. with us, what?
I bought a t-shirt today from Homage.
I know which one you're talking about.
Who the hell is Mel Kiper? I don't know the significance. I don't know if someone said it like at some point over the years. I bought it. It was so fucking funny.
That's hilarious.
Do you know what they're doing with Mel Kiper? I feel like he's slowly becoming into like Larry King.
Somebody
Because
said
of the
he was
hair?
like Penguin. Yeah.
Like
I got Penguin at the draft party I was at.
Yeah, Larry the Cable Guy.
He's been around for a minute, good old Mel. Yeah, he won't be joining us. He's got prior commitments. But the four of us are going to do our own WWE draft in just a few moments. But first, Kevin, the WWE was back in Fort Wayne, Indiana on Saturday night. Let's get the recap of how it all went down.
It was a fantastic show. Me and my family went. Just about 6,000 people for a house show, which is
that's great. I think
insane.
For Fort Wayne,
And very energetic crowd. I mean, every single match, even when it was Natty versus Shayna, still electric in the crowd. And just some of the comments on social media was like, no reason why Fort Wayne, Indiana should have a 6,000 attendance house show and basically more than Dynamite some weeks.
Yeah, that's hot. That's
well, there's nothing else going on in Fort Wayne because Mad Ant season's over.
That's true. That's true.
but no, it was incredible. The crowd from the first match to the end, heavy on kids, right? My son Brett loved it. Just seeing him like doing this, and people listening, like kind of like shadow punching, like back and forth. Like I can see him like going in his mind. He's analyzing the matches, not just screaming on the top of his lungs. It's like one of those proud dad moments. It's like, so I'm like, they come literally this time between April, May, June every year. So it's like, damn, I want to go again.
It's like I always say, you gotta watch wrestling like a kid. It's the best. That is when wrestling is at its best. When you go back to when you're a kid, and that kind of fandom. And I'm glad Brett is getting to experience this pretty regularly, which is pretty awesome. So when are you going to take him to GCW?
It's coming in May. Well, he was scared at one point. So at the end, you can. When you're leaving, we were like, oh, let's go to the floor. Let's see. Because Cody was like signing autographs, high-five, like everybody. So we're like, let's just see. And like we get down there and of course it's like so busy. And Brett's like, I can't do it. Aww. And I would love to spoil and say we got a photo with Cody, but it just didn't work out. But maybe one of those next times we splurge a little bit more than the $32 tickets. We were fourth row off the
nice.
floor,
that's great.
Like straight ahead to the entrance ramp. So they were awesome seats. Incredible seats.
The pictures that you sent were great. They would have been better if you had an iPhone, but that's
well, they would have been better if my phone wasn't 4.5 years old and cracked all over. That's
and an iPhone,
Samsung, and probably an iPhone.
And an iPhone.
Wait, the Samsung 5.
The real question.
Yes,
buy
the question.
Any merch?
No,
buy any merch?
$250, man. $250.
We're talking about the Cody autographed weight
belt.
Yeah, it was huge. It was. I didn't see. The crazy thing is,
you should have done it. It's like it's experiences, Kevin. It's like life is all about experiences.
Experiences,
you can make that money again later.
But experiences, yes. Stuff, no.
No, but that's not stuff. That's
Cody's
not stuff.
motto was spend now, make more later.
Yeah.
Did you see anybody else with them, Kevin?
I didn't see anyone with one.
Oh,
that's the thing. Not one. Not one person.
I think you should have pulled the trigger on that one, just because it's like, you said it's just stuff, but to your son it wouldn't have been stuff. It would have been that was a night.
Cool
Yes,
No, it
and
would've
then
been
he
cool.
would have it, and it would be a reminder of that night. Like that's the moment that was there, and it's like his guy, and it was signed, and you have a video that you see on social media of him signing those belts. I'm like, that's why I was like, it's your choice. It's like no big deal. I would have pulled the trigger and then probably kicking myself the next day, going like, I don't need this.
Impulse.
But then I would be like, I'm looking at these VIP chairs of like when we had the impulse of going to Raw in Nashville. It was like that was a moment. So every time I look at it as
that time you
the
fucked up and
moment.
tried to come at the
Not
king and you missed.
No, I'm talking about the moment of like basically the trip and the time with my wife and all that good stuff. And the time I tried to take a swing at the king and missed.
Maybe next.
I
Those
will
lights are
say
bright.
defending Kevin on this one, because Jay, you don't have kids. I could picture, for Brett, he would take that Cody weight belt and it's autographed. You think you'd want to like hang it up. He'd probably take that and start trying to whip his cat around the house. No. I don't think you want to do that with a $250 purchase.
Brett seems
more. You would hang it up, and
he wouldn't have access to it. He'd see it. He'd be able to see it.
Would Brett like it to be hung up, or would you think he'd want to be like, I'm Cody Rhodes, and whip it around his head?
I would have to somehow make like a glass cage so he wouldn't be able to touch it.
That's what I'm saying.
Or maybe I'll get like one of those baseball things where people put the Funkos in.
I have the like basically behind me. Like I'm not a Chargers fan, Raiders fan, or Oilers fan, but those are all moments that I had with my dad going to football games. So it's like they're still hanging up, and he wouldn't let us have them in our room. He would hang them up, and we wouldn't have access to it. But that's just, I don't know. That's just me.
Making him feel bad now, Joe.
No, I'm trying not to, but I'm just saying,
But
it's
Kevin,
okay. He'll be back.
But I agree with Brian too, because he would just like.
I think that Brett would be more appreciative of it, to where he would not be trying to chase Ray around the house with him, because look at what Kevin has in his basement. The video games, the arcade cabinets, the pinball machine. Like, there's so much valuable stuff. And I doubt Brett's down there, like, rocking the game if he doesn't fucking win,
Because I would be rocking him if he did that. I'll tell you that. Right. Maybe if we do make it to WrestleMania in Philly and Cody Quinn, the big one, maybe that's the redemption story versus Cody winning a match against Solo at the Coliseum in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Here's the difference, like Maker too, because it's like it's not about the money, it's about the experience. Because it's like when you think about it, the weight belt that was signed is about, but you never buy a championship title at SummerSlam or anything. The difference is that's just like one thing that's not signed and personalized, like a personal connection, while this one was. So that's why it's like, you're not going to buy a championship title at SummerSlam, but this was a little bit better than that.
But before we wrap it up, you mentioned Natty versus Shayna. Can you go over any other of the card that might have been a highlight for you?
That's all that mattered.
No, for sure. Cedric and Shelton, versus Ray and Escobar was insane.
Oh, fun. Okay.
Didn't expect Ray to be there. Karrion Kross versus Sheamus was fantastic. Usos versus Kevin and Sammy was fantastic. Cody versus Solo. I'm telling you, man, I know we all know Solo has the goods and can bring it, but that match was like 20 minutes long. It was nonstop, back and forth. Solo without shoes, just going barefoot. Him and Riddle both. I don't know how the hell they do it. The dude is a stud. But yeah, that crowd, because of course, the band who does Cody's song, Downstate, they were there. Front row. Everyone in that crowd loves singing Cody's song, or at least doing the whoa, whoa, whoa part of it. I need to learn that song. I don't know if I'm going to learn that word.
Jesus Christ, this again?
Yeah.
This again? Fuck.
But overall, I mean, just with the energy, probably the best house show I've ever been to. 6,000 for a house show. Like I said, man, that's massive.
House shows are the best. They're so much fun. I mean, the TV ones are okay, but man, the house shows are the best. There's no commercials. There's no half-assing it to waste time until they get back. Like, love the house show. And the thing is, since the pandemic, LA hasn't had anything except WrestleMania. So, like,
wow.
Besides AEW.
For WWE, yeah.
They've had nothing for, but it's I don't know, man. Like I'm hoping how the live events come back to LA or even Anaheim. Ontario has an arena, which isn't, it's a couple hours away, but it would be worth it. So yeah, if you're listening to this or watching this on YouTube, and if you have the opportunity to go to a WWE live event, I think it's Saturday night's main event and like Sunday night Smash or Sunday night
Stunner.
Stunner, yes. Go do it. Go enjoy it. It's so much fun. So much fun.
Yeah, the wrestlers love doing it. House shows are the best. So let's get to television, I guess, though. Let's get into Triple H's major announcement that at Night of Champions, he is reintroducing the World Heavyweight Championship. He basically said Roman in his contract does not have to defend regularly, and whatever brand Roman is not drafted on deserves to have a regular fighting champion. Guys, in future shows, we'll have time to discuss who we think should win this new championship. But for now, I want your thoughts on two things. Number one, the decision to bring this title back and Roman not losing the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. And number two, just what do you think of the design of the title? Jay, I know you had some strong thoughts from what I gathered online.
I mean, it's the world's greatest participation trophy. I mean, look, everyone talks about how the world is soft and everybody gets a trophy, even if they don't win. Well, this is the perfect example. You've got the man, Roman Reigns, the champ, the GOAT, the head of the table, the tribal chief, all of those things. And no one can beat him. No one can take the championship from him. So we're just going to create another one.
Right.
I think it looks too much like the big gold belt. I don't enjoy it. It is available for pre-order on Shop WWE Shop.
Oh, how much?
Instantly.
As soon as he announced it, it was up.
I was texting with Barbara Ryan, who is a belt collector, and he sent me within moments $4.99 on WWE Shop. No, he's like, I'm not kidding this right now. $4.99. It was available.
He's going to show up at SummerSlam with the fucking.
Yes.
He's waiting until Fanatics does the 20% off titles.
Right.
Tonight only.
$3.99. Yeah.
I'm not in favor of it.
Okay.
I don't like it. It is the world's greatest participation trophy.
Now, Jay, does that change because you've been the guy of just Roman should always win forever and ever? Does it make you rethink that of like, God, Roman should have lost at least one of the titles?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. I'm trying to balance it out. You know what I mean?
The biggest threat was at WrestleMania out of everybody over the last 3 years, and it didn't happen. So we need Roman to be the champ for 5 more years to break Bruno's record. And that's what I want because it's what's best for business. Roman Reigns is what's best for business.
Man, you're right. You're right. Joe, your thoughts again, just this decision of the new World Heavyweight Championship, and just do you like the look of the belt?
I like it. I like the whole thing. I like everything about it. I love the explanation. I love that Triple H said, if I was smart enough, if I was a champion and could have done that with my contract, I would have done the same thing. So he put Roman over on that one. He said they need a fighting champion. This is not a participation trophy. They've done this 2 times already. And the saying goes, the title doesn't make the performer makes the title, right? The first time they did it was when WCW and WWF merged. And Jericho had both belts and it got merged. And then Brock Lesnar said, I'm going to just be SmackDown only. So Bischoff went, you know what? It's not undisputed anymore. And it was gifted to Triple H. People, did they complain? Did that make the belt a participation trophy? No, because it was Triple H and he defended it. And then what happened to that? That Big Goldie during that time was the main championship, while the WWE championship was like secondary because it was the performer who made the belt. Fast forward, Randy Orton wins them both against John Cena. Daniel Bryan wins it, and then Brock Lesnar does, and they're like, nope, we're going to do a Universal Championship. Balor wins it, not that great. Owens wins it, not ready for it, but the second Goldberg gets it, and then Brock gets it. The Universal Championship was the top championship. So it all depends on who gets the championship. If it's somebody who makes the championship, then we got ourselves another championship title on 2 shows, and the lineage continues. That's why I like it. And the design, I dig it. I dig it because it's like it kind of like goes with the UFC championship, and it's a merger of both companies.
What lineage does this new title have? It has none, because
none, but it will.
Titles.
It
I have no
will.
idea. Yeah,
it will have a lineage because it's all depends on who has it. The belt doesn't make the performer. The performer makes the championship. It all depends on who gets it.
I do have to commend you, Joe, on reading the WWE Encyclopedia. What do you think, Kevin?
Cover to cover.
I'm kind of a mix. The look, I like the look. I think it looks it
looks like the UFC championship.
It does looks like the big Goldie, but in the middle it has that big W. No, it has the side plates. It's like a revamped big gold belt. Whoever's gonna win it, it has to be something special. It can't just be a fluke. It can't just be, it has to be like, I'm just going to list off. It's got to be like a Seth or a Gunther or someone, a Drew, Sheamus, someone big, worthy. And unfortunately, it's going to be a situation that Roman has beaten along the way somehow, most likely. But the look of it, I like it. The fact that they bring in the title, depending what secondary title is going to be on the show opposite of Roman. So say if it stays as is and Roman stays SmackDown and so is Gunther, yes, it means more versus an Austin Theory US title. But say if it's the opposite and it's going to be on the same title as the IC, I see those two as equal. If Gunther's going to be the IC champion and that worldwide title, what is it called again?
World Heavyweight Championship.
Is it just called World Heavyweight Championship? Well, fucking A. Like that, I see it like like an equal type thing. With the draft, it's coming up. It's got to happen. It's got to be something special to make it worthwhile. Or I could see it kind of being as a secondary to Roman.
I think 2 things real quick, and then I'll shut up because I know I've talked a lot about this. But when you go to me first, this is what happens. 1, whoever wins this new title cannot be on the same show as Gunther because the titles look too similar. Okay, that's 1. And 2, I'd have Roman win this one too.
Yes,
I like going
that
around.
too.
Could you imagine?
I love that. I would want to see that just to read the comments that night.
My God.
I would be sitting there eating popcorn like, yes. I wouldn't comment because I'm not going to, but I would just be loving the hate that would happen with Roman having all 3.
Let's do it.
I'd love for him to be
and then hold it for 5 years.
No.
8.
I would love
12.
With Night of Champions. I would love somehow that it is like for the
Mansoor.
new World Heavyweight Championship, Roman Reigns versus like just to have that doubt of just like, holy shit, Roman's gonna win this too. I thought I don't love it. I mean, it does make me go like, geez, Cody should have won, and then you do a split and something, but so it's not my favorite. I don't hate it. I get the reasoning. I think Triple H started off with the explanation pretty well. And already the wrestlers afterward, looking at it from the outside the ring, already off a good start. And the belt design, I do really like. It is a nice merger of what they have currently for the WWE Universal and the big gold belt. When people have talked about a new belt design, something that I saw online and I totally agreed with was they're not going to change the Universal one per se, because you know what happens whenever a team wins the Super Bowl, the World Series, NBA, anything. They carry that fucking title belt on the parade with a big WWE logo. So I'm like, they can't bring back the big gold belt, which is as glorious and beautiful as it is. It has no signification to WWE. That's just smart business and branding. So this seems like a nice merger. You got the WWE kind of smaller in the middle, but the nice, pretty gold belt design on the outside. So I think it's nice, best of both worlds. So all happy with that happening for sure. Let's go on to maybe the biggest news, though, that came out of Monday. And I sent you guys the text with just, a no spoiler, but if you're looking at wrestling Twitter, Mamma Mia. CM Punk was backstage at Monday Night Raw. Wow. People were on fire about this. What we know, what's been reported at least, he met with The Miz backstage and, in quotes, cleared the air. If you don't know what we're referencing, some Twitter disagreement went down a couple of years ago where Punk said to Miz, like, go suck a blood-covered Saudi dick, I think it was. Don't quote me on the quote, but it's something like that. A nasty quote. He also reportedly ran a Triple H, said, I'd like to speak with you if you have a couple minutes. Triple H said, let me talk to the big man, see if that's okay. And apparently Vince said, no, it's not okay. Get him out of here. And he was escorted out of the building. Guys, I mean, what do you make of all this? This is a guy that the bad blood, there's lawsuits, everything. He's an AEW contracted performer. It wasn't his hometown.
I have breaking news, but it can wait until after this story.
Okay. Are you shocked as I was that he even showed up, given this bad blood? A lot of people online saying, you know what? The rumors are he's coming back to AEW. It's a publicity stunt. It's just getting people talking. I mean, what do you make of all this?
Going back to the WWE Encyclopedia, it reminded me when Brock was seen at Stanford after he got cut by the Vikings. It's like Brock Lesnar has a meeting, and nothing happened of it for another 10 years. They're just making hype out of nothing. It was in their town. And if he's trying to make amends and like trying to like clear the air with some people after like the year he's had, good for him. That's how you grow as a person, is you don't hold grudges forever. So if he really did, based on the reports, go to The Miz, because he did say some nasty things about him, because The Miz said something. It was when he was on backstage, and then he called him a dork at the end of the tweet. And then he tries to meet up with Triple H, and Triple H doesn't he's like, oh yeah, sure, but we'll talk to the big man. If he's trying to make amends, good for him. Yeah. But it's a nothing story, period.
I agree. If he wants to go back to AEW and swallow a little bit of pride to go back there, he's going to show, hey, I can go make amends. Guys in AEW, I'm going to come back. I'm trying to be a better person. I'm learning from my mistakes. It only might have taken a few years to do this, but it does show that, okay, maybe Phil wants to be a bigger, better person, right? There was like a 0.00000000001 chance where I'm like, ooh, is he going to be on Raw? Like, of course. But realistically, the answer is no. But no, Phil, CM Punk, asshole, whatever you're going to call him. If he's out there and he got what he wanted to do done before he was asked to leave, perfect. Because everyone's an asshole sometimes.
It is amazing that of everything that's gone down, if the motive was just, you know what, I just want to come up and see some old friends and say, hey, my bad. Like, that's what it was. Maybe it was. Jay, your take on all this, and then please with your breaking news afterward, please.
I just don't care.
Okay.
It's nothing. It's nothing. He was seen talking to Tamina Snuka. Kind of a weird match there. But anyway. Yeah. It is what it is. It's probably just to get people talking about him more than they, in the recent weeks, his name's been popping up everywhere. So why not? The breaking news.
Yes, please.
Is
Kevin.
Kevin. Are you underwater? Because that was a fat. Can you hit me with one more, Kevin?
Try
a little further away from the mic. Back up a little. There you go. Hit it. Breaking news.
It's still a Walker show. What's going on?
I have no idea.
We are having technical difficulties.
Everything
right
you
now.
say is good, but your breaking news sounder needs to be in the shop.
Breaking news. My breaking news needs a new breaking news.
Okay, go ahead.
Naomi is reportedly set to debut for Impact this weekend at Spring Slugfest in Chicago. Former WWE star is reportedly set for a run-in with the company rather than just a one-off appearance. Does anybody care that Naomi is going to end up at Impact? Now, Impact has always had an amazing female roster. The Knockouts have always been great. The Knockout division. Thoughts on Naomi, which I don't know what her name is going to be, but not worried about
Trinity.
it.
Probably her real name, Trinity, would be my
Trinity
guess.
Fatu.
Yeah, that'd be my guess. You know what? Good for her. Like it doesn't move the needle for me. I've always enjoyed her in the ring, in her character. So, I don't know what's going on with her in WWE, and she's married to one of the Usos. And Impact, Jay, we don't get to watch it as much because it is on while we record. And I know you're a big fan of it, and everything I read is always really good. So hopefully at least there's some cool stuff for her.
Also, they announced that the New Japan Resurgence show that I went to last year at the Coliseum is going to be at the Pyramid in Long Beach in May. I did buy tickets, and Mercedes Moné has announced that Mike is going to be there. And if the reports are true, this could be her final New Japan date. So maybe she'll be going to Impact as well.
Then, along with the breaking news, let's stick with you, Jay, because you had a real fun experience at a local bar and grill the other day that you want to tell us about.
Yeah. So last Friday, I went and helped out the Winter Circle Pro guys set up the ring, get ready for their show. It was in Chino, which is about an hour and a half away from where I live. So I went a little early, and I went to the Luchador Brewing Company in Chino. I couldn't have any beers because I had to lift and hank build a ring and set up 100 chairs and stuff like that. But I did go. I had a great like a Chipotle, not Chipotle, like a quesadilla type sandwich called the Mexicali. It was really good. I bought this hat, which is awesome. I got a couple stickers for my Yeti from the brewery, and yeah, I'm looking forward to going back. It's one of those things, though. It's so far away, and driving and drinking. And the good thing, though, is they have it literally sits in a parking lot of hotels. So
they're going to get all the hotel business,
get wasted, and then just crash at the hotel. But it was a great spot. I cannot wait to go back. They had Lucha Underground on the TV.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask. If they had more
and then they had a bunch of different Lucha shows on TV, and a lot of merch and lots of beers. And it was a really awesome place. And if you're ever in Chino, California, and you like beers and wrestling, go to the Luchador Brewing Company because it was awesome.
That's cool, man. Glad it's fun when there are those themes out there, and there's not a lot of them. So when you find something like that, that's pretty cool that they do it upright. Last week we had a couple of homework assignments for this week's show. I did one of the assignments. The other one we're pushing back at least a week, and I don't know if anybody else, namely Kevin or Joe, took part in this assignment. Who here listened to, show of hands, the Dax podcast? Oh, look at that. Well, hey,
you guys,
I get the gold star.
Why would I listen to a podcast that's not going to have any future?
New podcast, who dis?
Man, I hate you guys sometimes.
Shit.
Seriously.
Sorry.
Except Brian. Fuck.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks. I'll take the gold star for this one.
Which one did you listen to?
I listened to the episode. It was recorded right after the WrestleMania Weekend Live podcast.
Yeah.
So he got to recap that, and it was the same one that they talked about winning the tag titles over the Guns.
Okay.
So I thought that was a pretty cool one because I wanted to hear, I think the last episode they did is the actual recording of the live show.
Yeah, that one just came out this week. So
I'll get to that, but I was like, all right, let's hear how that experience was. And that was a good moment for them of winning the tag titles and to go into the contract. And here, my biggest takeaways, I would say, first off, Dax is a family man. Wow. Like, you hear about all the wrestlers, especially, you know, a generation ago of, you know, I was on the road 350 days a year. I wrestled 8 times a week. This guy, he wants to be there for his family. He has said that from the get-go of, I want to be there for my wife and my daughter. Talked about how he had gotten married and they had a honeymoon planned, and WWE called him to say, hey, and it was cleared ahead of time. And WWE called him to say, hey, like, we want you to join NXT. Your start date is the 17th, the day after his wedding. And he's like, oh, if you remember, I said I got a honeymoon and everything. And they were like, oh, okay. How about the 18th? Like, oh, that sucks. So he said they got married. The next day they packed up, drove to Tampa, and he started in NXT. So that's an awesome takeaway. I don't think, I'll bet every dollar I got, there will not be a dark side of the ring on Dax Harwood. He's got his head on straight, man. So that's really cool. Very informative, Jay.
Told you.
It felt like you were listening to like a quarterback or a head coach of like diagnosing the plays, like talking into the psychology of matches. That was really cool. A little different than anything I've heard of.
Go back and listen to some of the ones where they did the watch-alongs with FTR against Gargano and Ciampa, and just hear why they did certain things and the explanations of movesets and absolutely. And then, of course, because of current situation, the first episode was about CM Punk. So their friendship and what had happened when he was there, and it's a great watch. And Kevin and Joe, you guys fucking suck. Oh.
My only,
no commitment.
My only down vote on this podcast, and from the couple that I scrolled through, 2 hours in length. That's a little long for me. And I put them on a time and a half speed, so I try to motor through it. So I don't think it would have made my regular rotation just because of that time commitment. But
for me,
what I heard was fantastic. I agree.
I listen, for it. Driving here, everything's an hour. So like I would put it on Wednesday morning and it would take me at least an hour to get to work and then an hour home. So like, I can get it done in maybe 2 days or, if it's, whatever, but no, I get it. Yeah. Long podcasts are hard to get through. I mean, hell, when the beginning of the Conrad casts, those things were 2-3 hours. I mean,
yeah, right.
And even now, like some of those are still 2 or 3 hours. So what I do at night, when I lay down, I'll put it on the timer for a half hour. Mm-hmm. And then I will, I'll listen to it. And I'm usually asleep about 20 minutes in, but then the next day, whether I'm in the car or, the next night, whatever. But I'm glad you value my opinion. Sometimes.
Yes, I do.
This one time.
Sometimes. Maybe not every time. Two,
and the other guys, whatever.
Worthless people on the show, but we love them that way.
It's up for debate now.
Yeah, again, it's a hit or miss. Okay, so
we're still here, right?
Well, you don't do anything extra, so I had to.
Where'd that mute button go?
Right. Kevin's watching the draft, so he's like, "What? What's going on?" I'm just sitting here like, wow, I'm getting like ridiculed so much right now because I didn't have 2 hours to kill this week.
Well, my hatred towards Kevin is all kayfabe because we're going to Vegas in 2 weeks. You, Joe. Yeah.
So the stories from that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, Jay, if you can play that sounder, it is time for the NFL draft.
No, it's not. It's time for the WWE draft.
Exactly. Yes, I meant the. Yes, I was saying the music fits. I didn't quite say it how I wanted to, but
due to my strategic tanking of WrestleMania,
yes,
I do have the first pick. However, Brian, you will explain what we are about to do and why.
Yes, this is the That Wrestling Podcast WWE draft, and the four of us, we are in our respective war rooms with our big board of the WWE and NXT rosters. So here are the rules. The draft is going to be 13 rounds. Each person gets one pick a round. When a wrestler is drafted, they can't be picked again. NXT wrestlers are eligible. Tag teams and factions, they can be split up or they can be kept together. And most importantly, yes, we have a friendly wager on the line for each wrestler that we pick. We have to also say if they will be on Raw or SmackDown. And if you guess correctly and the wrestler is drafted on TV, either tonight on SmackDown or Monday on Raw, you get a point. If you draft half of a tag team and on SmackDown or Raw, the entire tag team is drafted, you get half a point. So if I took Ivar of the Viking Raiders, but the Viking Raiders were drafted.
That's the example you use.
Yes, it is. Exactly.
No Montez. I mean, that seems to be
the obvious one.
That might play into it later.
If I take Ivar with the third pick, Ivar.
Big meaty men slapping meats. That's my thought there. So yeah, that's how it goes. Yeah, the draft order, like you said, Jay, we're going in reverse from our WrestleMania pick results. I was champion. I will go last. Jason worst. He's first. Then we've got Kevin second and Joe third, and that'll be the order for all 13 rounds. That's how it's going to go. So Jason, congratulations. Kevin, thank you in advance for your spreadsheet. It's immaculate. Looking forward to seeing how that all plays out. But yes, Jason, you are on the clock at the TWP draft.
You've been on the clock.
So, I was willing to listen to trade offers. Due to my strategic tanking of WrestleMania and the frozen envelope, I have the number one pick.
Shout out to Patrick Ewing.
And for the first pick in the draft to SmackDown, Pretty Deadly.
Wow.
Really?
Wow. Okay. I'm taking them off there. That's great.
Kevin.
That's pretty good. That's a good pick. I will, with my first pick of the first round, I will take Pretty Deadly to... Oh, wait. That was already taken.
We've messed up already, yes.
I will draft Sir Cody Rhodes to Monday Night Raw.
Okay. Cody Rhodes, he will remain on Monday Night Raw. Now, guys, so Joe is next, but before we get to Joe, guys, I know I prefaced at the beginning that Mel Kiper Jr. was going to try to join us on the show, but of course he is busy tonight with the draft. So what I thought about, though, I thought we could maybe get the next best thing. So, ladies and gentlemen, can you please welcome to That Wrestling Podcast? I have found a long lost cousin to give us the breakdown of Cody Rhodes. Please welcome Mel Kiper.
Jesus Christ.
Hold on. If I can find the play button here.
The triangle in the center.
There we go. There it is.
The American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, son of the late great American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. A lot of controversy over him losing to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Well, except for Jason, props to you for picking Roman to win. The question I have for Cody is, can he finish the story? What I can tell you is since his return to WWE, Cody is on fire. WWE ratings are up. House show business is up. My sources report that somewhere in Jacksonville, there's a man really regretting letting him go. His name rhymes with Jody Pawn, if you know what I mean. Cody Rhodes is off the board. Back to you guys in the TWP war room.
Thank you, Mel. Thank you. Great job, Mel. Thank you. Thank you.
I don't have anything for that. That was amazing.
That's Mel. Mel Kiper may be chiming in later on in the draft, just so you guys know. Okay, he's going to pop in. Okay.
Wow.
Shout out to
Mel Kiper.
Jody
Kiper.
Pawn in Jacksonville. I believe he said there. Yeah. Wow.
The mustache was perfect.
That's
That Vince's mustache.
That's paint. That's Microsoft Paint.
Microsoft Paint in the scribble. Oh, baby.
That's his long lost cousin, Mel Kiper. It's Mel Kiper right there.
That is amazing.
Yep. Thank you. All right, Joe, how can you possibly follow that?
I can't.
All right.
Let's
All
make
right.
it short, sweet, to the point. I'm going to go with Bianca Belair Raw.
All right. Ah, man, that was one I wanted. All right. Well then I will go with your WWE Universal Heavyweight Champion Roman Reigns, and I will say that he remains on SmackDown.
The second
Jason,
pick
the start of round 2. Yes, sir.
in round 2, also to SmackDown, the Judgment Day.
Wow. So we have everybody all together on this one, right?
Yep, the
But
Judgment
it only
Day.
counts as 1 point.
Yes. Yeah. If
Okay.
Judgment Day is drafted and to the respective show,
Not 4 points.
No shit,
not-
Joe.
not
Just making
4
sure.
points.
Just making sure, because like we don't want the rules to be changed later.
That's Brian that does that shit, not
I
not
know
me.
it is.
How dare you? How dare you? All right. So then Judgment Day is off the board. Let's go to Kevin with his round 2 selection.
Round 2, continuing that feud after Backlash, I'll go round 2, Brock Lesnar.
And what brand will Brock be on, my friend?
Everything.
You have to choose one of them.
Monday Night Raw.
Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
sorry.
Perfect. All right. That moves on to Joe. Brock Lesnar is off the board.
All right, I'm going to be drafting still for Monday Night Raw, Seth Rollins.
Okay, so Seth stays on Raw. Makes sense. I get that. Guys, before I make my pick, I'm getting word that Mel Kiper is looking to join us once again. If you give me patch him through. I think go ahead.
This is going to be a 2-hour podcast.
Yeah, this is
Or we're going to get copyright stricken from YouTube. But
no, we're fine. We're fine. My understanding is Mel has a breakdown, not so much specifically on the Judgment Day, but on one Dom Mysterio. Let's go back live to Mel Kiper. Take it away, Mel.
Mysterio. Here's a young kid, 3rd generation superstar, a lot of talent and ability. The thing you have to worry about, though, is the reputation he's gaining outside of the ring. We all know about his troubles with the law. Here's a kid that went to prison, served hard time, and you can only hope he's rehabilitated enough to be a main player for years to come. You know, this type of thing wouldn't happen to Dom if Big Boss Man was still around. Have you ever taken a trip down to Cobb County, Georgia? You better read the signs, respect the law and order. You'll serve hard time. You'll be serving hard times. A high-risk, high-reward pick. Dominic Mysterio is off the board. Back to you guys in the TWP War Room.
Hey, shout out to the Big Boss Man on that one.
I don't even know whose pick it is. Is it yours,
It's
Brian?
mine. It's mine.
Right.
Yeah, Mel and I are in sync.
Does it
so
matter?
He said he had to
Doesn't
chime
matter.
in
We're only on round 2.
on that one.
Got
Wow.
11 more to go.
All
Wow.
right. Seth is off the board. Roman's off the board. Judgment Day is off the board. I'm going with the Intercontinental Champion, Gunther. He is going to Monday Night Raw. Round 3,
the
Jay.
beginning, the 3rd round, first pick for me going to Monday Night Raw will be LA Knight.
Good pick.
Very good pick. Very good pick. That was definitely high on my board. Kevin, your round 3 selection, my friend.
This is going to happen. It's not a theory. Austin Theory going to SmackDown. Round 3 choice.
I like that one as well. All right, Joe, over to you.
All right, I'm breaking up a tag team. Montez Ford, Raw.
Ah, damn it. I wanted that one.
I
Damn it.
drafted his wife.
Yes. Guys, we're going to go back one more time.
Oh, God.
Hold on just a second. I should have went to him earlier, but we had just gotten his thoughts on the Dom Mysterio pick. So we're going to go back to him now as he cues himself up here. Let's see. Alrighty.
Oh,
Do we be pretending to
Perfect.
hit? Wait.
We are going back to live to Mel Kiper in the TWP draft room for his thoughts on my selection of Gunther.
When you look at Gunther, he has had an unbelievable Intercontinental title reign. He's big. His chops are lethal. He's from Austria. He had arguably the 2022 WWE Match of the Year against Sheamus at Clash at the Castle. Even Dave Meltzer gave it 5 stars. Meltzer? Yeah, fuck that guy. I wouldn't let Meltzer rate a dinner at a restaurant, let alone a wrestling match. Anyway, Gunther is a great selection. Back to you guys in the TWP War Room.
Wow. All right, Mel. Get a little testy with Dave Meltzer there.
Amazing.
My goodness.
Oh, boy.
All right. Shout out to Gunther there. That's amazing. All right. I have no clue where we are.
Your pick.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. That's right. That makes sense. Okay. All right. Let's stick with a tag team that we're going to keep together, and we're going to keep Jimmy and Jay, the Usos. We will keep them on SmackDown.
The first pick in
Round
the fourth
4,
round
yes.
Goes to SmackDown. After a lot of deliberation and realization that this team needed a change, Alpha Academy to SmackDown. Chad Gable and Otis.
Great pick. Yep. I'd keep them together too. Kevin, over to you.
That is a great pick.
Yep.
As I update the big board, Jay, very nice start of the 4th round. My pick for the 4th round, he just came back to SmackDown. He's going to stay on SmackDown. And if he doesn't, shame on me for picking him. I got Shinsuke, round 4, SmackDown.
Yep. Just made his return. Looks like they've something nice planned for the return of Shinsuke Nakamura. Joe, over to you.
Sticking with Raw. The Queen, Charlotte Flair.
Wow. Whoa.
Can they coexist?
She needs to be fresh. Bianca needs a bigger opponent. It just makes sense.
Wow. Yeah, that was the next person on my board. I will close out round 4. You know, we haven't seen this guy in quite some time, but I know when he does come back, he'll be a major player. Give me Randy Orton and give me Monday Night Raw.
Very cool. Very cool. In a surprise move to start the 5th round for Monday Night Raw, we take Cora Jade from NXT.
Oh, okay.
Recently returning to NXT, had a great couple weeks. The resident mean girl, I believe, is what Vic calls her, and now she will be on Monday nights. Cora Jade to Raw, 5th round.
That's a great pick. My 5th round, I'm going with Gunther was on my big draft board going to Raw. I'm taking the rest of Imperium. Do I need to say their names? Would you like me to say the full names? I am taking.
I got you.
Come on.
Ludwig. Was it Ludwig Kaiser?
Sure is.
And Giovanni Vinci.
Playing for your team because you don't even know his name. Welcome to my life.
Why say I'm nice?
Joe, on to you at your selection.
5th round.
Round 5, yeah.
I'm going to go finally drafting for SmackDown. Mustafa Ali is going to SmackDown.
Ooh,
wow.
All right.
Like that.
Mel Kipper doesn't have a thing for Mustafa Ali.
There's no Ali one.
Mel's taking a piss break.
He was part of Retribution.
Shocking. Kev, remind me, who was my first selection? If you could pull that out.
Everyone's first round. I'll go through the first round. Pretty Deadly from Jason, Cody, Kevin, Bianca Belair, Joe, Brian. How can you forget the Tribal Chief?
Oh, Roman Reigns. Yeah. That's right. Okay. I was thinking Seth Rollins, and that's why I got to make a correction on my notes here. All right. So then let me head back to the big board.
Sorry, I took Ali off your board.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's the price of a draft. Let's go with I don't think I have any girls left or picked yet. Let's go with Becky Lynch. Let's go and bring her to SmackDown.
You fucker.
Oh.
Hey now.
That was gonna be the first pick of the 6th round, but we're off the board.
Well, it's gonna be the second pick of the 6th round as well.
For the first pick in the 6th round, to SmackDown is The Miz.
That's a good selection. Good depth pick there with The Miz. Very versatile.
That is definitely a nice pick. I'm going second pick of the 6th round. He will be announced. He's got to be coming back soon. He's done more impact on SmackDown than in Raw. AJ Styles.
Yeah, that's another one. I was a little bit deeper on my board, but couldn't forget about him. All right, Joe, on to you.
Thing with SmackDown. LWO stays on SmackDown.
All right, so we got Santos, Cruz. Does that count Zelina as well?
Yep. The LWO.
It's only 1 point, Joe. It's only 1 point. It's only
doesn't
1 point, Joe. It's only 1 point.
It doesn't
four.
count.
It's just 1. And Rey Mysterio doesn't count.
It doesn't count.
I don't know.
It doesn't count Rey.
It's only 1 point, Joe.
Does
How many
not
points
count
is it?
Rey. Okay, thank you.
And you said SmackDown, correct, Joseph?
Correct.
All right, so that brings it back to me. Let's go with a man we know he just recently re-upped. Big things are coming his way. Logan Paul. And where does he go? Let's keep him on. Let's keep him on Monday Night Raw.
I wish I had a challenge flag. Are part-timers allowed in the draft? He's not on the list.
Roman Reigns is.
Roman Reigns isn't considered
Roman
part-time.
Reigns is on the eligible list.
Damn.
Yes.
Technically,
Logan Paul's
Randy Orton
ineligible.
wasn't even on the eligible list.
So is this going to be like the Miami Dolphins forfeiting their pick? Because I don't know if I think we have to go to our unanimous.
I mean, you guys can say,
majority rule here. I'm calling a challenge flag.
Okay.
I say Logan Paul is ineligible. Kevin.
I'll say eligible, and I'll let Joe be the
Okay.
To stir it up.
Way to put it on me. If they don't count it, then it's a wasted pick. So Brian just wasted his time. I'm gonna say he's eligible because I don't think he's gonna get drafted.
You don't think he'll be drafted?
You two fuckers.
Okay.
You two
No,
fuckers, man.
I think it's a wasted pick.
He's
I don't
doing
think
the
they're gonna
reverse
say what Brandy's
psychology
on.
thing. Yeah.
So why have him count it and take someone else that he has a chance for the point? You might as well have drafted Santa Claus to NXT. It doesn't matter.
First pick in the 7th round to SmackDown, Bayley.
Very nice. And I'm going second pick of the 7th round. I'm going, if LWO is going, he wants to be with his son, Rey Mysterio.
It's not like I have any power over it.
Joe, you got to play the numbers sometimes.
Okay, fine. All right,
Joe. Before we go back, hold on, Joe. If you don't mind,
why am I always interrupted?
Chiming in with Rey Mysterio. He has some draft thoughts. Let's get back over to Mel. Take it away, my friend.
Yeah, you know what you are getting in Rey Mysterio, WWE Hall of Famer, Mexican luchador legend, and hey, how about that entrance at WrestleMania this year? Riding in Snoop's lowrider, bumping nothing but a G thing. Love that song. 1, 2, 3, and to the 4. Snoop Doggy Dogg and Mel Kipper is at the door, or something like that. Anyway, Rey has had an amazing career. Loved his days in WCW, despite Vince Russo booking him to lose his mask. Russo, you stupid son of a bitch. What the hell is wrong with you? In any event, that's a terrific pick. A legend, Rey Mysterio. Back to you guys in the TWP War Room.
I feel like I wish there was a draft.
Thank you, Mel. Great insight.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Mel might be coming back as a regular. We'll see. But congratulations, Kevin.
Please, Mel.
He literally said 1, 2, 3 to the 4. Snoop Doggy
we
Dogg and Mel
We heard it.
Kipper
We
at
don't
the
need
door.
you to do it. We heard it.
I can't believe he just said that. He's off the rails. Joe, good
I got to
luck
follow
following
Mel
that.
again. Thanks,
Yeah.
appreciate it.
This is how the draft board plays out, buddy. What are you gonna do?
Here comes an underwhelming pick. Shotzi to Raw.
Wow, it is underwhelming. You're right.
I told you.
Nobody had her on their board.
Nope,
Yeah, my
she was
draft
not
board
on my
is-
board.
My draft board is all about like what you don't pick.
Okay, love it. I will go with Drew McIntyre. Let's bring him back. He's on the graphic. He should be coming back. Let's bring him the Monday Night Raw. Let's make him a heel and let's have him kick some ass. It's time for Drew McIntyre. What round are we on here, friends?
We're in the 8th round with the first pick to SmackDown, Johnny Gargano.
Oh, nice. I like that. Like that pick. That was definitely one of my thoughts there.
That is a very nice pick. Following the SmackDown trend of 2 in a row now, I'm going Matt Riddle. There's been a little competition with Roman. I think Roman's going to SmackDown or staying on SmackDown. I think Riddle to SmackDown.
SmackDown for Matt Riddle.
Joseph. You got anything, Mel? Nope.
Mel, I think is taking a break for quite a while. I think he's done some good insight, but let's go ahead with that pick there, Joe.
Staying on Monday Night Raw, Bobby Lashley.
All right, Lashley is off the board. Wow. All right, I'll stick with this run of guys that have been going through. I just went with Drew McIntyre. I'm gonna go with his buddy Sheamus. His buddy sometimes, his enemy sometimes. Let's keep them apart though. Let's put Sheamus and keep him on SmackDown.
All right, for the first pick of the 9th round, a man who I made a bold proclamation about to the point where I saw him in a hotel parking lot and I told him that and he agreed and said other people have said it. To Monday Night Raw, it is Riddick Moss.
Oh, nice. Your guy. Yes. Kev, over to you.
He got his name back. He's no longer Madcap.
Good.
To Monday Night Raw.
Question with the draft. What if it's Emma is eligible? What if it's Riddick Moss with Emma?
No, it's Riddick Moss to Raw.
Yeah, I think they're just a couple, but they're not like I've never seen them team up or anything.
Right.
Excuse me. Woo. Kevin.
Today, Junior.
In theory.
Am not ready.
Am not ready.
Should we go back to Mel for his thoughts on Gunther once again?
No.
I think they've been doing some pretty dang good things on SmackDown. Great heel tag team. I'm going Viking Raiders staying on SmackDown.
Okay. Not the breakup that I predicted with Ivar earlier. All right, Joe?
Shayna Baszler, Raw.
Okay. I'm gonna go with a guy who he might only be there once a year, but when he does, it's big business. John Cena. And he's going to SmackDown.
Call the challenge flag.
What?
Challenge flag.
Why?
Timer.
I think we allow it.
John Cena is ineligible.
His name won't be announced on TV.
It's not. He goes to wherever he wants for a major pay-per-view.
I say let it go.
No, I don't think, because Brian will be like at SummerSlam will be like, see, I picked him and I was right, so I should win. No.
Okay.
I'm gonna say I agree with Jason.
All right. That's fair.
Forfeited pick. Like the Miami
Is
Dolphins.
it forfeited or do I get to pick
it's gone.
Yeah, Jason, your pick.
It's kind of like the NFL draft where if you didn't pick within the 15 minutes, you lose the pick. So
let's go to Mel Kipper for his thoughts on this decision. No, okay. If John Cena's drafted on either night, I'm going to punch you guys. That's fine.
That's fine.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. What round are we on?
First round.
I'm the closest.
First pick of the 10th round.
10 round. Okay.
We'll go to Raw. Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
That was
on my possibilities.
Makes sense. I drafted Shayna, and this is all real, so it makes
that's great because I actually had them going as a tag team. So that is a great little separation there. I do think that Raw is going to be heavily women talent. Okay. I would love to have taken one of those two, just as a heads up, but I'm not. I'm choosing a lady. I'm choosing Bloodline, last remaining member, Solo.
Nice.
Where's he going?
Did you say where he's going? Yep.
Oh, SmackDown. I apologize.
You
Yep.
took
Okay.
my
So
pick.
the bloodline stays on SmackDown all together. Okay. Joe, I know Solo was your pick, but who do you got now?
Yeah, well then, no, I'm not ready. No, I'm just kidding. I am going to choose staying on SmackDown. Natalia is staying
Okay.
on SmackDown. Sorry, Kevin.
Please tell me Mel Kiper has a natty thing.
I'm
You just
afraid
talk
not.
about all the caps.
Is it the same roster as Charlotte though?
No,
Joe?
different rosters.
Oh, okay. I was hoping for the Charlotte Natty classics.
I bet Mel Kiper would talk about Natty's pussy.
Wow.
Feline AIDS.
I feel like I've drafted the most women.
In between his swears of Dave Meltzer, he might have to throw that in there. All right.
Feline AIDS.
Yes. That's a first for this show.
Feline AIDS. So I don't have a cat.
Did anybody pick Ricochet yet?
No.
All right, give me Ricochet. Give me Monday Night Raw. Thank you.
All right, the first pick in the 11th round to SmackDown. Omos with MVP.
Going to SmackDown. Okay, maybe change your brand. Will do Omos good after he takes care of Seth Rollins in Puerto Rico. Kevin, over to you.
I think Omos. You said Raw, correct?
No, I said
No, he
SmackDown.
said SmackDown.
He's going to
Oh, you said SmackDown. Sorry,
as I just explained.
Change the venue.
You try to type, copy, and paste.
I
Try
understand.
to run it on multiple computers at once.
Court reporters
you
have
have-
been doing it for decades.
Hey, you have Mel Kiper in your ear trying to chime in here. It's a tough thing to manage here, folks.
I'm just teasing you. I think this person's going to come up. They don't want to split them up. I do think Cora Jade. I had her later on my list, but I think Braun Breaker is going to be making his debut on the main roster.
Okay.
Showing up. They don't want to split that couple up. Monday Night Raw, Braun.
All right. Love that.
So we get that tag team coming up later. Brock and Braun.
Brock and
Big
Braun.
bad bees.
Braun and Brock. Killer Bees 2023. Joe.
23 B's. Joe.
My turn. I'm going to go with Braun Strowman, Raw.
All right. Yep. He's right there for me too. I am going to go with a guy who he's slowly progressing on the main roster. He's a beast. Bronson Reed. No one has Bronson
nice.
Reed yet, right?
No
Nope.
one.
Give me Bronson Reed. Give me SmackDown for Bronson Reed.
Little switch up in scenery.
First
All right,
pick
on to
in the
round 12.
12. Go
12.
to SmackDown. Dolph Ziggler.
Oh, okay.
Why not?
I did not have him on my board. What show did we say?
SmackDown.
Okay. Dolph to SmackDown in round number 12. Kevin?
Excuse me. I feel like all my picks are very similar to Jay's. I did have LA Knight going to Raw. They need another cocky guy. Back-to-back NXT call-ups. I think Grayson Waller makes his main roster debut.
Oh,
getting
that's a good
drafted
one.
to SmackDown.
That's a great one. Great one. He's a fantastic talent. Joe, your round 12 pick.
Io Sky
Oh, come on.
to SmackDown.
Oh, unreal.
Was that who you had next?
That's who I had next.
Brian, I feel like I've been
Man.
stealing your entire board, and I swear to
There's been a couple.
I swear, I told you before the show, I've been making it up as I go along.
Wow.
I have no board.
It's worked in your favor. I will wrap up round number 12. I don't believe anybody has taken Asuka, correct?
Correct.
Nope.
All right. Asuka's going to SmackDown.
All right, the first
The
pick
final round. My
of
goodness.
the 13th and final round. To SmackDown. Candice LeRae.
All right.
Nice.
More depth in the women's division on SmackDown with the drafting of Candice LeRae. Kevin, your
I'll make
final
it quick
pick.
and easy. Got to keep up with one of my faves, Rated R Superstar, going back to where his best times were. Kind of like AJ. His best career was in SmackDown. Edge is on his, farewell type style tour. He's got to go back, challenge Roman, maybe, probably lose. 99% chance lose. I think Edge goes back SmackDown.
I'd like to throw the flag. Is Edge any different than John Cena or Logan Paul in a part-time status?
Edge was named eligible.
He's more like Logan Paul.
Was he on the graphic?
Cena. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
He's on the 96.
Okay. Fair enough. That's
actually, to be honest, you throwing the flag and being incorrect, you just lost your.
Did I lose my last pick?
Come on. Yes.
It was an inquiry. It was not a formal petition.
I'm just teasing.
All right, Joe, your last pick.
Oh, geez.
Harley is not happy about it.
Are you looking at the eligible superstars, Jeff?
Hold up. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, my last pick. Sorry, internet issues. I'm going with Dexter Lumis, SmackDown.
Okay. All right, Dexter Lumis over to SmackDown. Candice LeRae is on SmackDown, so there's some connections there. My final pick of the TWP WWE draft is Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss has had some time off for quite some time, but she's always captivating when she's on our TV. Let's go with Alexa Bliss to Monday Night Raw. Wow.
So that concludes the draft. And I'm sure somebody somewhere is saying, this doesn't even fucking make sense. The point is, we're not drafting in the order of what will probably happen. This is a game to win a t-shirt. The person who gets the most picks right will be declared the winner, which is why I picked Pretty Deadly with the first overall selection. This isn't about what's really going to happen as far as in order. This is who we think is going to end up in certain places. And like I said, the winner gets one shirt. We're tightening the belt loops or whatever the hell that saying is about not spending a lot of money on this one.
Closing the purse strings is another way of saying it too.
Yeah, is that tighten the purse strings?
Tighten the purse strings, I think so as well. Yeah, there's no way I would have drafted Shotzi.
Yeah, so I mean, there is a lot of potential here, and of course, the Raw. If you are listening on Friday before SmackDown, then you can create your own draft board or to keep track of what we've done. Hopefully, you had a pen and paper ready. And yeah, I think that 13 was a good enough number. Now, I mean, looking at my draft board, there was only a few that didn't get picked that are now free agents. That would be Rick Boogs, Zoe Stark, Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin, Elias, the OC, and those are the ones on my draft board that did not get picked. Now, I know you guys took, or Joe, I think you took Montez.
Here's my draft board.
That's great, Joe.
Have one.
Way to play along.
I took Montez.
Way to show effort. Cedric Alexander, or not Cedric Alexander. Montez Ford got picked,
but Angelo Dawkins did not.
Dawkins did not. So
I would say this, Joe. You did. Oh, sorry, Jay.
Oh, no,
I was going to say, Joe, you made some very, very strategic choices of, like, say if Damage Control gets chosen as a threesome, all three of them, you get a third of a point for picking EO. If EO gets separated out, you get that full point. Like, you separated Street Profits. You were very strategic in different areas.
You know,
I didn't want to think too much about this. It's just for fun. So that was basically it.
And a t-shirt.
But it's like I thought too much about WrestleMania, and I think too much about the Royal Rumble. And there's nothing for that. So bragging rights, yeah.
Looking at my board, I picked 4 Raws and 9 SmackDowns.
I feel like I took more Raws.
I think you did. Too.
I think my first 5 rounds were Raw.
Joe, we didn't talk about this earlier, but tell me, how was the Bruce Pritchard convention you went to, man? I love Bruce and Conrad when they fight on the podcast. You went to Bruce-arama. like a Bruce Pritchard convention. Why don't you tell me, man? I would have road tripped for that one.
It was a Bruce Campbell.
No, it was Bruce Pritchard.
No,
Nobody knows who Bruce Campbell is.
Look behind me.
This is Bruce Pritchard Orama. I can't believe it. Like, did they have his brother love suits? Like the different ones? Because, you know, when
it's
he
really
thought
weird
he was
that there were a bunch
done
of
with pro
chainsaws
wrestling, I guess
it's a different red in the face. It was blood.
It was blood in the face, yes.
When he thought he was done with wrestling, he lives in Houston. He tells the story of he threw a brother love suit into the river. So like I was like, wow, I bet you they have that on display. I mean, and then probably Bruce Pritchard brother love was the one that brought the Undertaker in. So like Bruce Pritchard Con sounds awesome. I can't believe you went and didn't tell any of us because it was in Michigan, right?
Yeah, it was in Royal Oak.
Brian probably would have went. Ryan the barber would have went.
Michigan's very own Bruce Campbell.
No one knows
was
Bruce
the
Campbell.
one who was
Bruce Pritchard.
Don't tell everyone knows.
We're not talking about his shoot name. We're talking about his work name.
We are talking
it's
about
all
the fact that
about
the
Bruce
hail
Pritchard
to the
Con.
king, hail to the king of the Evil
Bruce
Dead
Pritchard.
movies. It was Bruce
and Wrestling
Campbell.
Podcast.
And you're saying no one knew, but it was sold out for.
And it was Vince
months.
McMahon's right hand man, Bruce Pritchard. He was there through all the 80s and most of the 90s, and then he left. And reportedly, was his gun there? Because there was the story that he took a gun to work, and Stephanie had to fire him for having a gun at work, which is why he left. And then he went to Impact and did a bunch of great stuff. He went to MLW, worked with MJF. Did he tell stories about MJF and MLW in the early days? Because I would love to hear those.
No, this is his pop. This is one of his pop vinyls.
No one knows what that is. We're talking about Bruce Pritchard here. Brother Love.
I went to Bruce-A-Rama, which was
Bruce Pritchard.
Bruce Campbell.
It's about Bruce Pritchard. I don't know who we're not talking about his work name, his real name. We're talking about his work name, which is Bruce Pritchard, who was
the
Brother
only
Love.
actor to ever successfully defeat Spider-Man in a movie. Bruce Campbell.
Pritchard. But no one knows him by his real name. It's Bruce Pritchard. No one knows him by his real name. This is Bruce Pritchard Con. Brian, it was in Royal Oak, and he wouldn't even fucking tell us. He didn't even tell us it was happening. We love the Bruce podcast. Him and Conrad fighting is some of the best shit ever. And this motherfucker didn't even tell us there was a convention about Bruce Pritchard in Michigan, and you live. Well, how far are you from Royal Oak? 20 minutes?
10, 15, yeah.
Oh, Joe.
And I'm
you don't listen to the Dax podcast. You don't participate in the assignments. Come on.
A lot of questions that will have to be
Bruce
answered.
Campbell.
No one.
Joe,
stop with this real name.
That's the working name.
There are so many people who know who he is. Now, he's not a huge star. He is a B movie actor. I'll give you that. But probably one of the coolest guys I've ever met.
He was Brother Love. That ain't B shit. That's A-list shit.
Yeah. Well, guys, I guess before we do wrap it up, we've got Mel Kipper with, I guess, some final thoughts on this year's draft. So we're going to turn it back
Bruce
over
Pritchard?
to maybe we'll have to see. Mel, the 13 rounds, it flew by. Give us your thoughts.
You're on mute, Mel.
Mel, unmute yourself.
Yeah, Mel. What the hell?
He's speechless.
Bruce Pritchard wouldn't be doing that if he was on.
Yeah, or Bruce Campbell.
Technical
difficulties. Stop using his real name. We don't
hold on there. Technical difficulties.
We use working names, not shoot names. Come on, man.
Okay, fine. Ash Williams.
When you're live, we're live, pal. You only get one chance to get it right. Let's see. Mel, can you hear me? Can you hear us, Mel?
Well, the TWP draft is in the books. Great job tonight, guys. Jason, surprise taking Pretty Deadly #1. Kevin, you can't go wrong drafting Cody Rhodes. Brian drafting Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief. And Joe, my sources are reporting that you suck. Before we sign off, I want to say, what the hell was CM Punk doing backstage at Monday Night Raw? This guy, always with the drama. He's the Aaron Rodgers of pro wrestling, not just because they look alike. Just like Rodgers was traded to the Jets, Tony Khan needs to trade Punk to GCW. That's what I want to see. Thanks for having me, guys. And as you always say, Brian, enjoy wrestling.
Thank you, Mel. Thank you. That's a good wrap up there. Wow, the draft is in the books, fellas. Unbelievable.
It may never come back again. Oh wait, there's an AEW draft coming, so can't wait till Mel's takes on AEW
draft.
Mel's usually a 1 day a year guy. Maybe it's 2 this time around.
Oh,
unbelievable.
My cheeks hurt from laughing.
Mel Kipper. Can we?
Mel Kipper.
Wow.
If you guys remember, that's Angela's maiden name is Kipper.
Oh,
so
I know.
There's
I didn't know
long
you
lost
guys were
cousins.
related.
Yes,
That's crazy.
that's how
Oh.
I pulled it out of the
So that's
woodwork.
how you booked it.
Yes, exactly how.
All right, can we end this because it's been like 5 hours? I swear.
At that,
Don't worry, it'll be in your car ride.
And Joe fucking up Bruce Pritchard and whatever.
You know what?
Not
It's
listening to the Dax podcast. Like
it's like what Conrad
not
said.
preparing for the drive. Like Joe, Brian, just end this.
Let's
just mute. Let's
YouTube.com / that wrestling podcast at that WrestlePod. Whatamaneuver.net is your merchandise. Next week we will have your Backlash preview and predictions, and we'll see if Joe's part of the show as well. All right, enjoy wrestling, everybody. Have a good one.
Rather have Mel Kipper at this point.
Thanks for listening. Follow That WrestlePod on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube.
1, 2, 3, that's it!
Thanks for watching That Wrestling Podcast on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And for more That Wrestling Podcast content, follow at That WrestlePod on social media.